I suppose you clicked on this video because you are a master number 11 and want to find out more about what that means for you. Well, did you know that there's several different combinations of what the master number 11 can consist, and that will have an impact or a change on how it is lived out. So my name is Leandra. If you don't know me yet, I'm a human design specialist, also into numerology, astrology, and I work in the holistic health field. And if you want to learn more about how to work with me, you can check all the links down below. At the moment, I also offer human design readings for a reduced price, so check that out as well if you're interested. So you are a master number 11, and let's just very briefly and quickly go over what that means. If you want to check out the full video, I already have recorded one that you can find in the link up there. So if you are a master number 11, you have a little bit more of a challenging route in this lifetime, because you have already gone through all these past life experiences and collected a lot of experience and collected a lot of wisdom and knowledge. So therefore, in this lifetime, you signed up for mastering a challenge or mastering something in your lifetime. And in the case of the 11, that means that you are here to bring together dualities. The 1 is the most masculine, is the doing concept, and the 2 is the most feminine, is the receiving concept, is about duality, is about relationship, whereas the 1 is all about individuality. So these two need to be balanced within you or in your life in some sort of way. So you have a doer mentality, but you also have a very empathic, very receptive quality about you, really combining the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine. Also, you are hyper aware and hyper intuitive, sensing and feeling a lot, because you're here to bring together the spiritual realm with the more material realm, and also balance them again within yourself and in your lifetime. You also are highly creative, but also maybe active in another field. So how can you live your creativity and go for it and not hinder yourself or hold yourself back in order for all the material things that you need to accomplish in this lifetime? So how can you create the balance between a more structured, maybe plane and the material plane and the creative realm, and really let the creativity, let the energy flow through you? The biggest challenge usually is that people are so sensitive, and that it's hard to master this heightened sensitivity. So that is what the 11 in short comprises for all master numbers 11. But now there is different ways on how the master number can be put together, and we can either have a pure 11, which would mean that maybe it is your birthday code, the day of your birth, which would be an 11, for example. That means that you have the 11 inherent in you, maybe not as your life path, but as your birthday code, as your soul essence, basically. And that would be the pure 11. Or if you do the calculation, and there are several different calculations how you can actually find your life path, for example, and your destiny number is comprised of your full name. So I will add a calculator where you can calculate which is your number if you don't know so yet. So the other option would be you are at 2911. That means that if you add all the numbers together, if you do the calculation, you will have a 2 and a 9, which is 29, which would add up to an 11. The other case would be you have a 38 when you calculate everything together, which would mean that you are also an 11, however, of a different combination. And the last opportunity would be that you are a 4711, which would mean that if you add everything together, you are also 11, comprised of the 4 and the 7. Let's go through all of these different combinations and see what they specifically mean now for you. So if you are a 2911 like myself, then you are here to be embodying the 2 and the 9, and that makes the 11. So the 2, if we go back, means the sensitivity, is the receptive, is the emotional aware, is a person who is very tuned in with themselves and the world around, extremely feeling, they sense everything, they're extremely intuitive. Whereas the 9 is all about humanitarianism, it's about service for others, it's about transformation. So if we bring these two together, what does that mean? It means that you are here to be extremely tuned in and go in relationship also. The 2 is also for relationship with others, and then be of service of humanity, which often results as people being a coach or helping with transformation, which basically I'm doing, right? So 29 is exactly tuning in others, being sensitive, and using that sensitivity and the empathy and your intuition in order to then be of service of the greater whole. And the more you can also selflessly serve, and maybe through your spirituality, maybe through your empathy, through your tuned inness with others, the better you can live your 11 number, meaning the better you can master what you came here in this lifetime. So often we find people who are very, very spiritual, with the master number 11 in general, but specifically with the 29, super spiritual, maybe a spiritual coach, or somehow in the healing modalities, which all of that I'm doing basically, which is so funny to see it play out in reality, right? And therefore bring maybe healing or bring more spiritual awareness to other people. In opposite, if you look at the 38, which are my siblings, interestingly enough, it's within 11. This is about mastering the 3 and the 8 frequency, which adds up to the 11. And the 3 is all about community. It is about bringing people together. It is a sense of having people around you that you connect with. But it also has a heightened sense of creativity. And it also is very emotional often. It needs to balance out their emotionality. So the 8 on the opposite is very charismatic. It's very much about leadership. It's about the material plane and mastering the material plane. So if you are a 38-11, that means that you are here to bring people together somehow, maybe also in a spiritual context, as we still have the 11 frequency, and also be extremely successful in that sense of creating that community, making money with that, mastering the material plane, but therefore mastering all of that what we talked about before, which the 11 means. So that could, for example, show up in you being a leader of your community, or you being in service of your community, or you're creating communal spaces in which you earn a lot of money, or you are in some sort of maybe crypto community or something like this, where it's all about money and all about charisma and the material plane basically. And through that, maybe coming to your humanitarianism, coming through helping others and balancing what we talked about in the master number 11. And if you have the 47-11, that means that you're here to master the 4 and the 7 frequency in order to get to your master number 11. And the 4 is all about structure. It's about putting in the hard work. It's about routines. So you need a very fixed strategy or structure in your life. Maybe the routines, or maybe having a more logical job, or going into things a little bit more with logic and structure, and really putting the daily work in. And the 7, on the other hand, is a very mental or a very spiritual often number, which is all about philosophy. It's about religion. It is about spiritual concept. It's about the reading books. Maybe you're a poet. So with the 47, it could be that you work as a poet or a writer or some sort of artist that is a little bit secluded maybe from other people, because the 7 is really also hermit energy. So maybe you are a writer living somewhere really far out, reading all these books, and then bringing really beautiful texts or spiritual messages to the people in order to, again, fulfill the mastery of the number 11. So the 4 needs this structure and routine. So as we said, the writer, the author scenario could be an example, but obviously that could also be fulfilled in many other ways. I'm just giving broad examples here. But obviously, in the background is still always the 11. So that is always your core message. However, if you look a little bit deeper into it, that can already give you a hint or a clue on how to accomplish your 11 mastery. So again, 4 and 7, structure and routine, but then also the mental plane, mastering your thoughts, balancing out the difference between wanting to be alone but also needing to be here of service for others, which is the 11, about the duality, right? Yeah. So that was just a short overview on all the different combination numbers, because I got also a few requests about that. And let me know in the comments what kind of 11 are you and what kind of other videos do you want me to do. If you are still here, you might consider booking a reading, because that can give you even more detailed information. And I'm always happy to connect one-on-one with you. As you know, I'm the 2911, so I love coaching, I love helping you, being of service. And yeah, that's all for today. I'm wishing you so much love, and bye. See you next time.